The Gemara talks about the days of Mashiach and learns it from this week's parsha. Just the time is short, so we're going to do the last 3 lines where I underlined. Says, I'm going to take you a koimemius. Koimemius means your feet will be strong, your back will be strong, you'll be healthy. Koima zakufa. You'll be walking with a upright posture. Every man will be 200 amas tall. You think a basketball player is tall? What? 7 foot? 6'8"? 200 amma. 200 amma is about 400 feet tall. So if you're standing on the deck of the Empire State Building and someone's tapping you in the shoulder and you look out, that might be Diminution. Because Diminution was 100 amma tall. So it says koimemius, double. It'll be kishnei koima shel Diminution. Every man is going to be 200 amma tall. We could even go to that tower in Dubai and be on the top deck, and Moshiach, a Jew, can come over to you and tap you in the back. He's standing all the way on the bottom.
Og Melech HaBashan wasn't taller?
No, not bigger than Diminution before the Chet.
Oh, before the Chet, then it shrink.
And then he shrunk. 200 amas, like the height of Diminution. Rabbi Yehuda, 100 amma, keneged heichel ksalav, as high as the heichel and the walls of the heichel. Shenem, as it says in the pasuk, Ashabanenu, our children, kenetim megudolim, like beautiful plants that are growing, benoreim, benosenu kezavius, mechutavas tavan seichel, that our daughters, our sons are growing and they're carved out like the image of the heichel. The heichel was 100 amma. This Gemara, like many Gemaras about Mashiach coming, is begging for an explanation. What's so special that I'll be that tall? And what's the Moluccas if they're going to be 100 amma or 200 amma? Who cares? I mean, once you're over 100 feet tall, who cares? And why does it be? The Mayor says it's a Lashon Abed. Koimemius. What does it be? He doesn't agree. It says Lashon Abed. What do you care? Let him. If the people are already going to be 100 amma tall, let them be 200 amma tall. It doesn't cost you that much extra money. You know that there's a saying, our sages say that one angel does never do 2 things. Every angel does their own one job. So there's a saying that the Rebbe used to say, why is it a human being that multitask? They give them a lot of jobs. They hire you for a job. In the meantime, they give you this, that, the other, 100 things to do. Why is it Malachim, every Malach gets a separate job? They say in Yiddish, because very simple. Malachim, you don't have to pay them overtime. There's no health insurance. There's no benefits. No life insurance. Might as well, and there's plenty of angels up there. Might as well give everyone one job. This world, you're paying him a salary, might as well get him do this, that, the other, and yeah. What do you care? Rabbi Meir says, koimemius, double, it's plural. So not once the height of Diminution, twice the height of Diminution. So what does it mean, who to care? I mean, you're talking about giants that you can't imagine. Higher than the Empire State Building. So, okay, 100 amas, 200 amas. And what kind of funny thing, like the heichel and the walls of the heichel. What does it mean, who the saying? What does it mean, who the saying? One of the favorite Rebbes, the Meir of Premishlan. The Meir of Premishlan was known as a very sweet Rebbe. There was a woman that used to come every year from Austria for one. Her father was a chassid. She came for a brach every year. She would come for one thing, a child, and have children. And the Meir would always tell her the same thing. Come with your husband, I'm going to give you a bracha. What's the problem? Her husband just totally didn't care. Chassidim, rabbis, this was all foreign, didn't believe in the whole business. He was a merchant in Austria. This whole thing was a joke to him. He didn't believe in rabbis, he didn't believe in chassidim. It was one big joke. His wife wouldn't even dare tell him that she's going to the Rebbe. He would go out for a business trip, she would pack up, wealthy, and she would go to the Rebbe. But the Rebbe always told her the same thing. When you come with your husband, give you a bracha. So she didn't give up. Every year she came to the Rebbe. Once when she's leaving the Rebbe, Rebbe Meir calls her back. He says, you know what? When your husband comes home from the business trip, tell him that I personally asked he should come. Obviously he won't listen. You tell him that Lag BaOmer was on a Thursday night. Tell your husband that he was in this city, and he was in a bar, and he was sitting with his friends, and they were all night they were sitting and making jokes about Rebbe Zachsidim, and the butt of every joke was made of Premishlan. So when he's going to hear this, and he's going to know that I could see things, I think he'll come. The trick worked. It worked. She came back home. Husband came. We're going to the Rebbe. What Rebbe are you talking about? She said, the Rebbe said, Thursday, Lag BaOmer, you were in this bar in this city. He couldn't believe it. How does the Rebbe know? She said, X-ray vision. Exactly. Yeah, the little cameras. Antennas. He knows. Maybe he can give us a blessing for a child. Okay, we're going. But so he said, you know what? I'm embarrassed to say I'm going to a Rebbe. My friends know what I think of Rebbes. We're going to go to Lvov, supposedly for a business trip. From there we'll go to Premishlan. It's a little out of the way. That woman said fine. When they came to Premishlan, and they come into the tzaddik, and the man gives a kvittel, so the tzaddik looks at him and says, from Hanukkah Tayyid, where are you coming from? So he says, from Austria. He says, you're lying. Well, you're embarrassed from your friends to tell them you're going to Chassidic Rebbe to ask for bracha. So you went to Lvov, supposedly you're going for business. And from there you came to Premishlan. Bracha doesn't work that way. You go back home to pack your bags again, come back, straight to Premishlan, that's when you're going to get your bracha.
Make sure all your friends know.
Yeah. Goes back to Premishlan. This time he sees that the tzaddik is onto something. Come back to Premishlan. That Shabbos, the Meidel gave him a aliyah. And that, it was reading the Torah, it said, Lo yeh v'cho okor v'akora.
Wow.
And he read it loud, that there should not be an okor, a man, a male, v'akora, a female who cannot have a child. He said it very loud. The man understood that this was a blessing, that the Rebbe is saying him and his wife will not be an akora or an okor, they will have a child. So when they finished reading and he said the bracha, and the chazan started saying Misha Berech, Bavur Shenodar, this guy was wealthy, he wanted to give a big donation. Rebbe went like this. I don't want money. I'm going to say what should be the gift. Bavur Shenodar Lazar li Yisrael. He made a vow, he's going to help Yisrael. What does that mean? He's going to help Jews, he's going to help a Jew whose name is Yisrael. Didn't say. Bavur Shenodar Lazar li Yisrael. That was it. Okay. After Shabbos, the man and his wife came back to the Meidel, and Meidel gave them a blessing, and he said, remember, you made a mishaberach, you made a vow that you're going to help Li Yisrael. Your bracha is for a child, but remember your mishaberach, remember your pledge. Okay? Come back home. They had a child. Time went by, and he never knew what it meant. What was that special mishaberach? He was once on a business trip. It was somewhere next to the border between Romania and Austria, and he hears that there's something going on secretly. What happened? That a Bisrol of Ruzhin, he was the Russians didn't like him. Why should I like him? He was a very, very popular Rebbe, and today a lot of the Chassidic dynasties are descendants of the Ruzhin Tzaddik. And they didn't like him. He was, his whole stance in Avodas Hashem was like, he walked around like a king, like the king of the Jews. Fabulously wealthy. That was his outside demeanor. We know Chassidic stories that Rebbe said that he used to walk with shoes. They looked fancy. At the bottom there were no heat. It was opened. That was his ass. So the Russians suspect this guy wants to be a king. The Tsar is Russia was filled with paranoia, and they arrested him. He managed to escape. Now his life was in danger. He needed to run. He wanted to get out of Russia. Russia was not going to let him out. So he had to... The only way out was to escape. He was hiding in a little town, in a Jewish home, near the border, trying to figure out how to skip the border. This merchant finds out about this, and he remembered the Mesheberach. He said, that's probably what it was. It was for the Yisrael of Ruzhin. So he finds out where the tzaddik is hiding. He comes there, he says, listen, I know many government officials on both sides of the border. I think I'm the right man for the job. I know, and I know the ways. Middle of the night, I'm going to take the Rebbe, I'm going to get him on the other side, and I'm going to make sure he becomes an Austrian citizen. The Rebbe agreed. At night he comes, he picks up the Rebbe, they're walking. Come close to the border, there was a river. It was frozen, middle of the winter. They're walking on the river, and the Rebbe is exhausted. He sees that the Rebbe can't walk, so he takes the Rebbe, puts him on his shoulders. Middle of the river, he stops. The Rebbe says, what's going on? He says, Rebbe, I'm not such a big tzaddik. I'm far from a tzaddik. I've sinned my entire life. I suspect when I go up in the world to come, they're sending me straight down in the elevator. Triple G, underground. I'm not taking another step until you guarantee me that I'm going to Olam Haba. I'm going to Olam Haba. Huh? Olam Haba. Rebbe says, a Jew that's concerned about nothing but his Olam Haba, don't worry, you're not going to Gehenna, you're going to Olam Haba. Guy kept on walking. He brought Rabbi Yisrael of Ruzhin to Austria, and he kept his promise. This obviously had a profound effect on him, and he became a new person. So you have a person that sometimes you can't teach old dogs new tricks, but it's not true. People do change. A Jew has the ability to change. Two opposites don't exist in one person, but sometimes people do change. A person could be a Rosh and become a tzaddik. A person could be a tzaddik and become a Baal Tshuva. There's two ways, however. Sometimes we know a person, and we think they can never change, but they could change. But the thing is, usually, when a person has a certain maila, a certain unique talent, they're lacking on the other side. So, an example. A woman marries a person. She totally falls in love with him. This is a perfect guy. She's a nervous wreck. This guy's calm. He's sitting. He's always cool. He's cool like a cucumber. That's great. This woman loves it. So they get married. It turns out he's always cool. He always takes it easy. Now she's getting cooked up. But you should really cook right now. How come you're not cooking? Listen. They say in Yiddish. There isn't, no person has all the milas. If this guy is cooking, he's not calm. If he's calm, he's not cooking. There's a woman, she loves it. She doesn't want this guy's laid back. She wants a go-getter. He's going to go. And he comes back home, he's cooking. Take it easy. Can't we take a vacation? Listen, you married this guy because he's a go-getter. He's going to take care of you. So what? He can't take easy, but that's not the type of person he is. That's the way we all are. We say, but only, if only you have this mila plus that mila. It doesn't work that way. A person that has this mila or that mila. In the spiritual worlds, there's two milas. There's or yosher and or choyze. There's mila lamata, mamata lamata. There is a light that comes down. It's powerful. Mamala koloma. The whole direction is to bring godliness into this world. There is the other way, running away from this world, elevating this world, picking up this world. Everything that happens in the higher worlds is from a Jew's avodas Hashem. This tzaddikim balei tshuva. Tzaddikim cause that the godly life come into this world. Balei tshuva, they purify the world. They can prove that a person could be in the worst place of filth, far away from godliness, and then change. So they can elevate themselves. They prove to the world can be elevated. So tzaddikim are yosher, the light that's coming down, balachuva or choizer, the light that's bouncing back up. When Mashiach will come, we say that every Jew is going to maximize on their potential. They're going to maximize. Today, a person, how much percentage of a person's brain is used? 5%, 7%. What? They say there was a person came to a brain surgeon. The guy claims he could do a brain transplant. A wealthy man. He decided, okay, it's time to be smart. So the surgeon shows him in the case. He has here. This is a brain. It's a Jewish brain. $100,000. It's Chinaman. $200,000. This? How much is it? $1 million. Are you crazy? $1 million? He says, I'm telling you, I guarantee it's like brand new, was never used. So, what happens? We have so much in our neshama, so much talent, and we in a lifetime we're not maximizing, we're not using it out. What's the shleimus of the 100? Because 100 is 10 times 10, and a person has 10 parts of the neshama, corresponding to 10 sfiras. Chochma, Bina, Das, Chesed, Geburet, Tiferes, Netzach, Chod, Yisod, Malchus, the 10 sfiras, 10 times 10 is 100. That's the... So, this we say, what was the... Adam Rishon before the sin, he was 100 amas tall. What does it mean? Physically, probably, he was very tall physically, but the point was that his physical height expressed his spiritual height. Spiritually, he was 100 amma tall. That means he used his brain 100%. He used out his talent 100%. We use our talent. We make a joke of this other guy, but we're the joke. That's how much are we using? That's why we're very small. Small means we're not using out our talent. Mashiach will come. We say everyone is going to be like Adam Rishon before the sin, but that's not enough. We know there's two opinions about Mashiach. It says that Yodem Avdi Nisa V'Gova Ma'oid. He's going to be very tall. There's two opinions. One say it'll be as tall as Adam Rishon before the sin. The other say it'll be even taller. So here the same thing. We have the Moluccas and a Rebbe Yehuda. But so what's the Moluccas here? The Rebbe has a Morid Kavod. This is the Moluccas. When you have a person that has two opposites that come together. First they're tzaddik, now they're balchuva. First they're Rosh, now they have. So you can have two opposites in the same person. Today I do this, tomorrow I do that. Or you can have even more. Two opposites that come and get fused together in one at the same moment of time. This is the machlokas here between Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Meir says every Jew will have the absolute maximization of their neshama. And they'll have both, whatever there is, the chesed and gvura, there is, or yosher or choizer, they'll maximize on both sides perfectly. That's why they're going to be 200 amas tall. Because in general, there's or yosher and there's choizer, there's tzaddikim, there's bali tshuva. So every Jew is going to be 200 amas tall. Rabbi Yehuda disagrees. He says every person is going to have the 200 amas, but they'll be fused into 100 amas. The 200 will be 100. I'll give you two examples. This is what the Rebbe gives us, two examples in the sicha. It said, the Gemara says, Reb Zera decided to go from Bavel to Eretz Yisrael. He said in Bavel, the learning was very contentious, argument. Yerushalmi was clean, was pure, godly, was on a higher level. Gemara says that he fasted 100 Tanaisim until to forget the Talmud Bavli. The Gemara says he also fasted another 100 fasts that he never ends up in Gehenna. He didn't have a medal to give him the bracha, so he fasted 100. He wanted to know that really he's not going to end up in Gehenna. And once in 30 days, he would fill up the oven with firewood. He would put on the fire and he would go inside the oven to make sure that he doesn't get burnt. He wouldn't get burnt. He would walk in the oven, walk out, as if nothing happened. When our sages found out about this, so they put their eyes into him. because they like sort of made an ayin hara on him. And the next time he went into the oven, all of a sudden his legs got burnt. He ran out of the oven, but he already got burnt. So from then on they called him Katin Charich Shaktya, the short fellow with the burnt thighs. So we see several things over here. So first of all, the Rebbe says, beautiful. Why did he fast 100 fasts? Because he was in absolute perfection. He was a Rav Zayde, he was one of the great sages of the Talmud. So presumably he reached a level of perfection, some level in his way, perfection. So to expunge all 100 levels of Kedusha, of Talmud Bavli, he fasted 100 fasts. Now he wanted to be elevated in Talmud Yerushalmi. So here you have one fellow that had both milas. He had the mila of Talmud Bavli and the mila of Talmud Yerushalmi. However, physically he was short, right? Because that's the story. When Mashiach will come, it must be that we're going to have both milas together. We're going to learn Bavli in Yerushalmi, and we'll appreciate both of them. It doesn't mean that, however, that they'll be fused into one. But here's another example of two great sages that had totally different approaches. Rabbi Yishmael and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said, if a Jew wants to maximize his life, he should not go to Manhattan. He should not have a job 9 to 5. He should not open up a store on Avenue J or on Ostrin. No way. Jews should sit in the cave and learn Torah all day and all night. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. How are you going to provide for the family? They asked Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. He said, you never heard of direct deposit? Give Rebbe Nachman the number of your account, and he'll make direct deposit.
Good.
Yeah, it's very good. The Gemara said that many people tried Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai's trick, didn't work. Rabbi Yishmael said, I have a different way. Open up a store, open a business, go to Manhattan, do avodas Hashem. At night, come to Beis Menachem Mendel, have a shir, learn Torah, and that's what the Eibishter wants from you. The Gemara says that a lot of people tried to mimic Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, it didn't work. And a lot of people went in the way of Rabbi Yishmael, and it worked. Rabbi Yishmael's way is the way it works. A person has to be hanig b'minlik derech eretz. So you have two styles. You have what's called a koilul yungaman, a LASIK. A LASIK is not a koilul yungaman. A koilul yungaman is not a LASIK. You can't be both. You could, and it should, that a koilul yungaman should be a LASIK for a few days. He should be masasik in something. He should know what it means to be masasik. He should go out for a day, full day, from morning to night, and put on film with other Jews. Do something besides sitting at the sefer. And then a person who's working all his life, a few days a year, should check himself into koilul. Yarchei. He should learn for a few days. That's it. He's only learning for a few days. So that is where you have the same person experiencing both. Experiencing the mile of Rabbi Yishmael and the mile of Shimon Bar Yochai. What does it say when Mashiach will come? Mashiach will come, it says, V'omdu zorim v'rou tzoimchem. Foreigners will stand up and they will take care of your flock. In other words, you will have flock. It's your flock. You're going to have business. You're going to have fields. You're going to have real estate. You're going to have sheep. And foreigners are going to take care of them. This is an absolute fusion of the style of Rabbi Yishmael and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Today, if you live the life of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, you're in a cave, all you eat is buxer, carib, and a little bit of fresh water. It's good. But if it's for breakfast, lunch, and supper 7 days a week,
and if you have kids to feed,
it's a little hard. It's much. So it's for special people like Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. There's another style, Rabbi Yishmael's style. But Rabbi Yishmael and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai totally two different things. There's a koilul yungaman, there's a LASIK. And sometimes you can have, and not you could, but you should, that each one should experience the other person's way of avodas Hashem for a couple of days in their life, and that's great. Mashiach will come, there'll be an absolute fusion of both. Every Jew is going to be fabulously wealthy with a lot of tzoyin. Tzoyin means wealth. And it will belong to him. On the other hand, so this is an absolute fusion of the Avodas Hashem of Rabbi Yishmael and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. This is the machloikis between Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Meir said the moshiach will come, every Jew will have absolute perfection. All 10 koiches and nefesh will be utilized. It will be not like today where we're not scratching the surface of an neshama. We're using a few percentage of our brain, a drop of our heart, but we're not maximizing of what we... Mashiach will come, every Jew is going to be like Adam Rishon before the Chait, 100 amas. But not just 100, because Adam Rishon before the Chait had one style, what he was. I'm not sure what he was. He was either a LASIK or a LASIK, but he wasn't both at the same time. He was Rabbi Shmuel's style or Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, but he wasn't both. It wasn't a fusion. So he was only 100 amas. When Mashiach will come, every Jew will have the perfection of Avodas Hashem of both. Of the tzaddikim, Balei Tshuva, or Yosher, or Choser, coming, bringing the light down, elevating the world up. Like we say, Chesed and Gevura, each one has its advantage. Love has advantage, boundaries have advantage. But the best is when you can fuse both together. When you can have, when you have boundaries, and therefore the love could shine through it. That's the greatest. When there's not just boundaries, it's just love. That's Teferes, when you confuse the two together. So when Mashiach will come, Rabbi Meir says we're going to have both. Masai Mamar. Rabbi Yehuda says no. They'll be both fused into one, not one person, into one tenuah, into one movement. And for that he said it's similar to the Heichel. He can't say, Rabbi Meir says Masai Mamar Kishnei Kemesh Adam Rishon, like double Adam Rishon. Rabbi Yehuda says Meir Amma, he doesn't say like Adam Rishon, because it's not the point. We're not going to be like Adam Rishon. We're going to be bigger than Adam Rishon. He was 100 Amma because that's it. We're going to be 100 Amma, which is fused the 200 Amma into one. That's why it says Keneged Heichel Uksala. What's a Heichel stand for? Achdus Hashem, the Shechina resting in this world. What are the Ksalim? Ksalim are boundaries, right? The Heichel is love. The Ksalim is the boundaries. It doesn't go past here. The Kedusha stands still here. If there is the Karbonis, if the walls of the Beis HaMikdash were breached, there's certain karbonos that can't be eaten. Because there has to be walls to say that the Kedusha of the Heichel goes till here, the Zohar calls here the Heichel. If the walls are all down, there's certain karbonos you could eat, some you can't, because you have to have walls. The boundaries. These are the boundaries. So one would say, Achdus Hashem and boundaries are two opposite. Achdus Hashem means Hashem is one, it's everywhere. And walls, to say the Kedusha goes till here, boundaries, is the opposite. But the answer is that in the Beis HaMikdash showed that in a world that is finite and that has boundaries, we could shine the Achdus Hashem. So here there was a fusion of boundaries and boundless Achdus Hashem. That's the pshat. Heichel Uksolov. The Heichel represents the Ashros HaShechina, and the Ashros HaShechina was dependent on having walls to teach us that in this finite world where there is only 100 by 100 amas, that's where there's going to be a revelation of Achdus Hashem. It's not an outer world experience, it's an experience in this world. This world is finite, that's the essence of this world. Everything has a measurement, time and space. So he's saying that the Koisel Heichel and the Heichel are two opposites. And yet, that was the whole point of the Beis HaMikdash. So just like the Beis HaMikdash of brick and stone was Heichel Uksolov, the same thing with Shechanta B'Toichem, every Beis HaMikdash that's in every single Jewish heart, it's the same thing. That when Mashiach will come, we're going to have both milas fused into one. Therefore, the Yehuda said, no, it's not going to be Masai Mama, it's going to be 100. The 200 is going to be fused into one. That's why you find in the Beis HaMikdash, the parshyos we learned this week, that there were miracles, right? What were the miracles? 10 miracles. But like, when they stand, pressed. You know, like by the mirror, try to go in and out.
That's a miracle.
Exactly. But when they came to bow, it was space. So this was like two opposites. Why was it pressed? Why were they pressed when they were standing next to each other? Because simply there was not enough room. the room was finite and there was not enough room for all the people to stand there. So therefore it was like 770. There was not enough room. It was like Imiron, Lagavaimer. There's not enough room in the cave. So everyone's pressed. Came to Shtachim Revochim. So here's two. This is not just, you can have tzvufim, you can have revochim. You can have a milo, oh, it's a good party, it's a packed room is a good party, right? Okay. But a packed room is a small room. Then you can have a big room, everyone's comfortable. Here they had both milos at the same time. They had a packed room, was a great party, but when it came time for Shtachavoya, there was a lot of space. So here you had two opposites that were fused together. That's the pshat of a Heichel Uksolov. The Beis HaMikdash, walls are boundaries, Heichel is boundless, and they were fused together. The Achdus Hashem, the unity of the Eibishter in this world, was revealed in the Ksolim of the Beis HaMikdash. Same thing said Rabbi Yehuda, every Jew will be that way when Mashiach comes. That whatever milest, today we say, if you know another human being, in marriage, in any circle, if you like something about them, there's something else that if they have something, like I said before, if the guy is cool, then he's not cooking. If he's cooking, he's not cool. This guy is always punctual, so don't expect the guy to stay later, because that's it. The guy stays later, but don't expect he's always going to come in time. It doesn't work. Mashiach will come. Every Jew is going to have all spiritual, will maximize in all the spiritual koiches, 10 times 10, on both directions. It's just that Rebbe Meir is on a lower level. And Rebbe Meir, therefore the mission talks about Rebbe Meir first and Rebbe Yehuda second. The Gemara says in the beginning over here, that the Gemara says, there's two opinions, and the angels, they had a dispute what's going to be when Mashiach comes. David says, you know what? Why are you arguing? You're going to have Beda Milas. So the Rebbe says, perhaps when Mashiach will come, we're going to have like Rebbe Meir, Rebbe Yehuda. First, we're going to be in a lower level, like Rebbe Meir. We're going to have all the Milas, but not fused into the same moment, to the same person. But, Sunday Kailul, Monday, like not fused into one. Because Rebbe Meir is Moshiach Oyer. It's godly revelation. So this is going to be beautiful. Rabbi Yehuda is even deeper. Rabbi Yehuda is Haidah, totally devoted to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So the essence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is beyond boundaries. So he confused Heichel and Ksolov. He could fuse boundaries and boundless at the same time. Therefore Rabbi Yehuda says Mea Amma. Not like Adam Rishon. Because Adam Rishon was just plain Mea Amma. Here the 200 Amas will be fused into one. Everything that happens in the days of Mashiach is on our shoulders. It's like the Alter Rebbe says in Tanya. So we have to try in our life today. To survive. There's the Kailul people, there's the business people. It shouldn't be that way. We have to try to fuse in our own life and not give ourselves excuses and say that's for a businessman. That's for a Kailul man. We have to know that today before Mashiach comes, we have to fuse in ourselves ala milas as much as we could, where we help another Yid, we teach and we learn. We're doing an avodah satfila, we're doing an avodah satorah, we're doing an avodah of helping another Yid advance in the Torah mitzvahs. And at the same time, we're Kailul and we're LASIK at the same time. The Eibishter should help that amidst Hashem, we should be matzliach in our avodah Hashem. We should visalachti betoichechem. We should have the double visalachti, like the Alter Rebbe said, both or Yosher or Chayzer, and in that schus it should be v'oilechetzchem kaimamius, that we should maximize in our avodas Hashem now, and that schus we should be zoichet that physically, we don't know if physically it's going to be that tall, but every Jew is going to be very tall. Mashiach is going to come. That will express the spiritual tallness that we're going to have. V'vias Mashiach. So we should be zoichet, take it from Yad Mamash.